What's up EFD squad, welcome back to Scout Report. Today we're looking at 5 players who are an absolute nightmare for specific clubs. Let's go. 5. Liverpool and Jamie Vardy. Liverpool fans may be excited for the start of a new era, given the fact they've reached a Champions League final and signed Fabinho, but there's still a perpetual thorn in their side. Surprisingly, it's not Loris Karius or Simon Mignolet. Cheap dig. It's none other than the Red Bull guzzler himself, Jamie Vardy, who's netted 7 times and grabbed an assist against the Reds in just 8 appearances. This is pretty impressive going when you consider that Alan Shearer and Robin van Persie have only managed 1 more goal against Liverpool and both have double the appearances of the whippet-like Englishman. As is now tradition, the Foxes forward scored in both ties against Liverpool on his way to reaching 20 league goals last campaign, averaging 0.6 goals per 90, the same as £40 million man Alex Lacazette, and much better than £60 million hitman Alvaro Morata. Over the 2 games versus Klopp's men, Vardy averaged 3.5 shots, all of which came from inside the box. This figure eclipses his usual 1.7 shots in the danger zone per 90 and is comparative to his international teammate Harry Kane. Not content with wrapping Dejan Lovren in knots with his off-the-ball movement, Vardy also becomes a more effective playmaker when he's up against the Kopites, creating 1.5 chances per game, up 0.5 from his usual 1 key pass. Still worth in the region of €20 million according to Transfermarkt, the opportunity to play for a top 6 side is probably not in his grasp now, but chances are he'll keep scoring against the Reds. 4. Lazio and Gonzalo Higuain. At 30 years old, Gonzalo Higuain can be proud of his career so far. 70 caps for his country and scorer of at least 20 goals in 8 of the last 10 seasons for Real Madrid, Napoli and now Juventus. This incredible goal-scoring record has seen the Argentine collect 9 major trophies, including 5 league titles across his spells in Spain and Italy. Despite playing in 35 of Juve's 38 league games in 17-18, there are persistent rumours this was his last year in Italy, with Chelsea's likely destination. If Higuain is to leave, fans of Lazio will no doubt count their lucky stars. They've seen the 3-time Team of the Year member score 13 goals past them in just 16 games, his best record against any side. He hit the ground running against the Bianco Celesti, winning 10 matches in all. In fact, he won 5 of his first 6, scoring 11 goals in the process. This should come as no surprise that Higuain is a penalty box predator. In fact, he only completes 22.6 passes per 90. That's fewer than Peter Crouch in 17-18. There's an obscure reference for you. But subsequently, he does get off a lot of shots, 3.4 in fact, more than Golden Boot winner Mauro Icardi. And it's no surprise that his goal record against Lazio is so prolific, with 58% of his shots testing the goalkeeper. That's an improvement on Paulo Dybala's 55%, and he's just had his best season yet. But he has slowed down in recent times against the Rome-based side, only scoring 1 goal in his last 5 games. However, if the €70 million rated man stays put, we back him to improve those numbers. 3. Bayern Munich and Cristiano Ronaldo. What started off as a horrific season for CR7 turned into another hugely successful one. Scoring just once from his first 55 shots in La Liga, the Portuguese ended up bagging 44 in 44 appearances across all competitions and, once again, made his mark in the Champions League. The legendary goal scorer topped the charts with 15 strikes to his name, but for the first time in his career, he failed to get on the score sheet in either tie against Bayern in the knockout stages. Luckily, Marcelo, Asensio and Benzema were all on hand to send Los Blancos through, but Cristiano's goal-scoring record against the German Giants was unbelievable up until that point. Only ever facing the Bavarians in the tail end of the competition, Ronaldo's managed to score 9 times and get 1 assist in 8 quarter and semi-final games against them. His 16-17 performances across both legs of their semi-final tie exemplified his dominance over the Bundesliga side. Cristiano averaged 8.5 shots per game in the 2 heavyweight clashes, more than the freakish 6.7 he was averaging in the competition that year, and only 5 in total were from outside the box. Outrageous. CR7 may be turning 34 next year, but he's still valued at a cool €100 million. No wonder really, given his continued ability to make his mark on the biggest of games. 2. Chelsea and Sergio Agüero. Manchester City's Argentine striker Sergio Agüero is an absolute phenomenon. Since his transfer from Atletico Madrid, he's scored at least 28 goals in all but one season. In just 7 years, he's risen to the top of Manchester City's all-time scoring charts with 199 goals, now 22 clear of second place Eric Brook, who played for the club for 6 more years. His 0.7 goals per game have fired the citizens to 6 major trophies, including 3 Premier League titles, but shockingly, only 1 inclusion in the PFA Team of the Year. Agüero has scored at least 10 goals against 4 teams, that's Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs and Watford, with his 10 goals against the Hornets coming in just 6 appearances. But considering that Manchester City versus Chelsea has often been a season-defining game, with the pair winning 5 of the last 7 Premier League titles, his statistics in those games are all the more remarkable. The 84-cap frontman has scored 10 goals and provided 3 assists in just 16 games against the Blues, and while they've only won 7 of those games, Agüero has never failed to step up to the mark. Rumoured to be interested in Agüero during his Atleti days, a whole host of ex-Blues managers will rue the day they passed him over, especially after he scored a brace against them in just his 2nd appearance. That was back in 2009. Ominous. But Chelsea's loss has been City's gain, and at the age of 29, Agüero produced arguably his best performance for the club in their record-breaking 17-18 campaign, with an involvement in 21.7% of their 106 league goals. What could have been Chelsea fans? 1. Real Madrid and Lionel Messi. Whilst many top strikers face criticism for going missing in important games, our number 1 pick thrives in the biggest match of them all, El Clásico. The GOAT's first strike against Barca's greatest foes came back in 2007, when he was still just a teen, and amazingly, it came as part of his first ever career hat-trick. Raúl was on the pitch that day, and since then, Messi has eclipsed even his impressive record in Clásicos. The Real legend scored 15 in 37 against the Blaugrana, while the Argentinian has now bagged 26 in 38 against Los Blancos. And unsurprisingly, Messi has been just as big a thorn in Real's side as a creator. He's bagged a total of 14 assists against the Merengues, including 2 in the famous 5-0 battering in Guardiola and Mourinho's first ever meeting back in 2010. And when you look at his in-game stats, it's pretty obvious why the 30-year-old is so prolific in Europe's biggest derby. He currently averages 4.5 shots per 90 against Madrid, with over half of those coming on target. Meanwhile, he's managing a ludicrous 6 key passes a game against his rivals, mainly down to the fact he created a frankly absurd 9 chances in just 90 minutes in their matchup in December 2017. Leo's tendency to switch things on against Real means he's got a highly impressive win rate of 54% against them, and that's just in the league. And he can also claim bragging rights over the club when it comes to personal success. He's won 32 club trophies in 14 seasons as a senior player, the same amount that Los Blancos have managed as a club in the last 25 years. So that was our 5 players that your club hates, guys, but have you got any other suggestions? Stick them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, go and watch the latest Stat Wars The Champions. And as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.